What's up, comic and pop culture fans? This is James with Midhunter Comics. Today's video is going to be about space. Where does all this crap that we collect actually go? If you're like me, and hopefully you're not, maybe your house looks a little bit like this. This is just the office where I work. I barely have any room to kick my feet under the computer because I've got storage everywhere, even down here. I got books stacked up next to the printer. I got books on top of the printer. The table in my office belongs mainly to any new slabs that I've got coming in that I haven't taken to a warehouse, and all the new 2020, 21, 22 reading material. Where I record this video is this is at my childhood parents' address. My house that I moved into a year ago is actually pretty darn small. Sometimes I feel like the woman living in a shoe. Frankly, there's not a lot of space there, so I house a lot of space here. And it is a lot because I got graphic novels wrapped all the way around the room. I got statues wrapped all the way around the room. I've got an attic here at my parents' house, which is just full of statue boxes, which any statue collector can tell you how much space that is right there. I have an attic full of it at my house too. I got a basement full of it. I got a basement full of it at my house. And the part that you guys don't see is right behind where I've got the camera set up and everything. It's just a disaster right behind you right there. There's boxes everywhere. It's just a total nightmare. And what if I told you that that is even all with the bulk of my collection and just boxes and crap and shipping supplies is all at a warehouse? It's pretty bad if that is the extra that's not even there. Pop in the comments below the best way you're able to maintain space and handle your use of all this stuff we collect. I will choose my favorite answer and let's find a giveaway. In the interest of trying to get rid of bulky stuff and save space, let's find something large. Perfect. All right, I'm going to choose the best answer down below, and you're going to win a still unopened, I never got to read it, copy of Omnibus of Batman Eternal. I was looking at storage units for a while, but I couldn't justify spending what they were asking for those prices. Luckily, I have a buddy who does estate sales. He has got his hand in everything. Antiques of every variety, and he has a big old warehouse. And he gives me a tiny little pocket where I get to put my comic books and all my, again, statue boxes and statues. What I'm talking about here is it's funny because this particular hobby of ours is extremely space inefficient. I'd love to know what you guys do down in the comments of what the heck you do with all this stuff, because me personally, I've got it in multiple rooms of 2 houses and a warehouse, and it's still spilling out. I go to fellow comic book collector's house and there's comic books spilling into the hallways, there's comic books lining the bedroom floor, there's comic books pouring out of their closets, comic books coming out of the basements. I have some friends where there's so much comic book stuff in their house it is legitimately hard to walk through. So the way I see it is you kind of got limited options, you know. My house is X size, I can only collect X amount. Or, you know, the wife only lets me do it in the basement or maybe the office. I can't get any collection that's going to get bigger than that. I guess it's a good thing that my house is so small. It kind of prevents me from going really buck wild with collecting. Although I will say I remember telling myself my collection would only stay in one room before. It's funny how it has a way of evolving into other rooms. One thing you got to really have is a understanding partner. If you are shacked up, you're a couple, you got to make sure you are not stepping on the toes of that other person, because check in with them from time to time. They might not be so happy about your hobby. Luckily for me, my fiance understands the importance of this hobby outside of my incredibly boring and stressful job 1 and job 2. So it's pretty important to me. It's a nice escape from that less fun stuff. So it's important there. But the space is still, it's what it is. It's tough. I know me personally, if I could actually get some of these statues gone, the amount of space that would free up, oh my, I could die happy, man. There is 2/3 of everything that I have that takes up space is just the actual statues and boxes for these statues. I can only imagine how Mr. X from Extreme Channel, I mean, he's got like 300 statues. It could be more. What you have to rent out an entire storage facility? Like, I don't know what he does. I'll have to have a conversation with him about it. But guys, pop it in the comments. Let's help each other have a discussion on where does this all go. You don't think comic books would do that much space, but man, they look thin, let me tell you. You start collecting one thing, all of a sudden you got 8 long boxes for it, and that's just the one collection, and then you start branching out, and soon you've got like a 50 long box collection in a tiny little New York apartment. It's not happening. So you gotta really prioritize, you gotta be constantly moving stuff. One thing that I do is I do constantly dump. I try to get rid of stuff that I really tell myself, do I really need this in order to make it all work? I mean, you guys know by now, I think I've got over 200 slabs that are just Green Lantern. Where does that go? Currently, in the basement. Some in the office. It's a lot, and that particular collection isn't done. It's not even near done. So I have to keep making room for it, and it's just tough. The unfortunate nature of this particular dorkiness is comic books and all that, graphic novels. They are bigger. You're looking at this much space, so it's not like a Hot Wheel collection where you can just pin it on your wall and it doesn't take up that much space. It's comic books. You know, if you've got bookshelves and walls, that juts into the room, and then you've got the graphic novels in addition to the comics. And then what do you do with all the storage? And if you are someone who sells, where does all the shipping material go? It's a lot, man. And frankly, I can probably name 30 other YouTube channels with collections way bigger than mine. How do they do it? I don't know, man. How do any of us do it? Something to think about for sure. Let me know in the comments down below what you do about it, what your partner says about it, and what we can do to help each other that struggle with this issue. Don't forget to put your answers down below. Winner's gonna get this unread omnibus of Batman Eternal. As always, guys, keep on hunting, and don't forget to actually have a space for all your stuff.